All right, it is March. This is our Team Inspiration team-wide call. There are 4 quick announcements that I want to cover before we give the time all to Josh. So first of all, we have a training opportunity that I hope you've seen me post about in the team page. It's called the Entrepreneur Masterclass, and I'm co-leading it with, I don't even know how many others there are, like 9 or 10 other rock star leaders. And this is like literally teaching you the business side. It's teaching you the comp plan, volume, rank, building for income, recruiting, building leaders, like where to spend your time, just so many things. And it's going to be so good. So the qualifications to get into that, I'm going to start inviting everyone tomorrow. The qualifications to get into that, you just have to be an Emerald coach, and you have to have hit Success Club in February. And if you didn't, you have till Friday to hit Success Club in March. So if you missed it in February and you're like, crap, I'm screwed, I can't get in, you still can, but you have to hit Success Club by Friday, okay? So once you do, make sure you comment in the thread in the team pages, and I'll get you the invite to get in there. It's gonna be super solid. And that's downline wide. So your coaches are available to get into that as well. So that's the first thing. Number 2, for for March and April, we're not going to have the normal Rising Stars Thursday calls. Okay, we're shifting things a little bit. We're doing like an exclusive diamond mentorship, and we're taking smaller pods and working with them more closely. So we're not going to have the normal Rising Stars calls. But if you are a diamond or star diamond, then we are going to replace that time, same time, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Thursdays is going to be a specific leader call. So that's going to be a specific leader call that's open if you're a diamond or star diamond currently. All right. So make sure you know about that. And then if you are a coach or emerald of mine and you want to get in on the diamond mentorship, make sure you reach out to me and get access to that. If you're one of Cozy's, Ashley McClellan's, or Jay Lynn's, they're also doing mine. Like, we're doing it together, and Melissa is doing her own. So if you're part of Melissa's girls, make sure you're plugged into her stuff, okay? Then number 3, fall retreat. For my PS team, I will talk about this on the PS call, but I wanted you guys to know because I've gotten so many questions since y'all saw the retreat stuff from last weekend. I will be doing a PS only retreat in the fall, and I'll give you all the details on Monday's PS call. But we are gonna do another entire downline wide retreat next winter, and we're kind of gonna make it like a winter thing so that anyone is able to qualify for that. So basically, the easy qualifications that you guys need to know are, and this is the way that we're gonna do it. Obviously, we have a ginormous team. There's only 20 spots open, okay? So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to make a board, a qualification board, and every new diamond, once you hit as a new diamond, you go on the board and you get your spot unless you drop rank. So this is where, since there's like a million coaches, if you drop rank, you basically go to the bottom of the list, and then when you get your rank, when you get diamond back, you would get back on the list if there's spots. If you hit diamond and you continue to grow and you never drop rank, you hold your spot and you earn your spot forever. For new rank advancements, for those that are already diamond, if you hit star diamond or 2-star or whatever, if you rank up 1 more than your lifetime, you get, once you qualify, so once you hold for 6 weeks, you earn your spot. If you drop that rank, since star diamond ranks are a little more out of your control, you don't lose your spot if you drop your star diamond rank, but if you drop your diamond ever, you lose your spot, okay? So this is the only way that we could like figure out how to really reward the hustlers and give you an opportunity, no matter where you're sponsored within the downline, to earn that time with the team and to earn that spot at the winter retreat, okay? So we'll have more details about that later on, but obviously that's not till like next February, but you're earning it now. Can you guys, if you're not muted, can you mute yourself? I muted everyone, but it's still being crazy and like being weird. Okay, So those are the only announcements I have. Make sure you guys check your Coach Online office. There's tons of coach breaking news going on right now. Take us into the bar promo. They're rolling out stuff for 10 rounds. It's coming out on the 16th. So lots of stuff that you guys need to stay in the know about, but I don't want to cover that all here. Get in your back office, learn it, read it, take care of your crap. Okay. Now, the reason you guys are all here, we're going to welcome Josh on. Are you on? Can you unmute yourself and start talking?
I got you, bro. I got you.
There you are. Okay.
Oh.
So for those of you guys that maybe don't know who Josh is, he is a John Maxwell coach. That's how he got started. He's basically a push coach. He helps entrepreneurs just level up, live their best life, become who they were meant to be. I worked with him one-on-one for years and learned so much from him and just think the world of him. Love everything he does, and he just brings fire. So I'm going to mute myself and turn the rest of the 55 minutes over so you can do your thing.
Except I'm not going 55 minutes because Micah asked for concise version of Josh tonight. And I was
54.
like, I don't know who that guy is, but I'm going to see if I can get a show for the call tonight. What's up, everybody? So excited to be here, Micah. Always such an honor. So many old friends. I love seeing all the faces, all the names. Thanks for the beard compliments, by the way. You made my night. Also excited to make lots of new friends because I know we've got people here. Always new people joining the team. So tonight I want to talk to you about something that I've actually never spoke on before until last week in a 5-day mindset challenge that I was doing. And that is something specific to our belief systems, the difference between our heart and our head. So one of my favorite quotes of all time, actually from Carl Deichler, if you're new, as the CEO of the company. We were speaking in Huntington Beach at Super Saturday. We both spoke that day, and he said something really powerful. He said, the head is always saying to stop, but the heart is always saying to go. Now, I believe that we have two internal voices, and this is what makes life really confusing. This is what makes breaking habits really confusing. How many of you can remember when you first started on your health and fitness journey, and there was something in you that was like, we got to do this. Like, there's a reason for this. Like, I want to be a better mama. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better daddy. If there's any guys on the call, just in case, if you're watching on YouTube, there's probably like 2 guys watching. I want to be a better person. I want to reach my potential. Like, I really know this is what I'm supposed to do. But yet every morning you woke up and there was these voices in your head saying, why could you do it this time if you failed 100 other times? Who do you think you are? What, do you think you're just better than everybody? Or how about, wait, are you telling me you're going to take time to work out when you could be spending that time with your baby? All of these voices in your head. And it's very, very, very confusing. And I was actually talking to a girl last week, and she was talking about her feelings, and she was like, well, I just feel like this isn't genuine, which for my homies that know me real well, you know I hate that word so much. She's like, I just feel like it's not genuine when I do that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, hold up. You said I feel like it's not genuine. Where do our feelings come from? And she said, well, from our heart. And I was like, we got some work to do. Because somewhere along the lines, I don't know if anyone said this or if we just kind of assume this, we a lot of times think that our feelings come from our heart, and that is not correct. And some of that comes from not really understanding the way this guy works. And I'm very fortunate enough to have gone through life coaching certification. And I had to learn a lot about the brain and our belief system and how it works to really understand what feelings are, where they come from, and why they come from there. And if you do not understand this, it makes it so stinking hard to ever follow your heart and do the things that you were born to do. So I want to just do a really quick example of how easy it is to find the voice of your heart and how different it can be from the voice of your head. I want everyone to stop for a second, and I want you to just think about this question. Why do you believe you exist? I want you to think about that for a second. Why do you believe you exist? And as you get some thoughts, I want you to drop it over here in the comments. I want to see what your belief is about why you exist. Send some comments my way. I want to read some of them out loud. I want to hear the voice of your heart tonight. Not everybody at once. There we go. Thank you. To fulfill God's purpose for my life. The Lord needed me here to make a difference, to make people happy, to make a difference for people, to share our story, to be a mom to my 3, to be a daughter, to be a wife, to spread hope, to lead others, to love people, to leave an impact, to help others, to make people laugh their guts out. I like that. To be the light in the lives of everyone that crosses my path and bring laughter back to their dark days. Homegirl's done some training on mission statements. To make an impact in the lives of others. To create my forever family. To inspire others. All of the above. To teach. Do you guys hear, don't these statements sound amazing? Don't they sound powerful? Now tell me how in the world a group full of women who believe that they exist, that their meaning and definition of existence is to help people, to teach people, to inspire people, to love people, to be light. How can these same people also get on a call and say, I don't know if I'm good enough of a leader to help somebody. I don't know if my story is actually significant enough to share. I don't know if I've had enough success to be able to teach someone else. Do you hear how contradictory those voices are? They are in direct conflict with each other, which tells me we've got two things that are headbutting. And if we don't understand how to process these voices, and if we don't understand how to figure out where they're coming from, it will be very, very, very hard to succeed in life. It will be very, very, very hard to ever grow into what I believe is your God-given potential. Because you will constantly have these other voices. I'm going to tell you something. The voice of your head is almost always louder than the voice of your heart. It's louder because of the way we're wired. And I want to teach you for a second how we're wired. And some of you have heard me talk about this a little bit, that we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, okay? Your conscious mind, I'm just gonna make it real simple for you, is just your five senses, okay? What you smell, what you hear, what you touch, what you taste, all of those. I probably missed one or two, but you know what I'm talking about. Our 5 senses. It's just collecting data. That's all it's doing, just collecting data all the time. But our subconscious mind is, I believe, our God-given, built-in machine / computer that you can program however you want it to be. I want you to write this down. My mind is given to me. It is wired to protect and to perform. To protect and to perform. So here's the thing. We're just collecting data, just going through our day, collecting data. Sometimes you don't realize you're collecting data. You're not necessarily aware of the fact, but when someone tells you as a kid over and over and over and over and over that you're a failure, that's data that you're constantly collecting that eventually becomes a permanent belief up here. And this is where life gets hard, is when we have a permanent belief up here that's contrary to what our true divine nature is that lives in here in our heart. You see what I'm saying? Our brain is wired to protect and to perform, but here's the problem. We have sometimes programmed it to protect us from the wrong things and to perform the wrong things. And that's when life gets tough. I want you to write this down. We were made to be protected from undiscovered and unconquered territories. Undiscovered and unconquered. I believe it's a gift from God that if you don't have Google because it's not 2020 and a saber-toothed tiger walks out in front of you, you see something that's undiscovered and unconquered and you turn and you run the other way. However, we live in a day and age where there isn't as much to be afraid of as we have been programmed to look for. In other words, anytime you come across undiscovered or unconquered territory, I need you to understand there's a built-in smoke detector in here that goes off, okay? And when a smoke detector goes off at your house, Do you grab all of your closest belongings, grab your kids, sprint out the door, jump into the street, and call 911? Is that what you do when the smoke detector goes off? Or do you stop, use your intelligence to look around, collect evidence, process, and ask yourself, is this really a threat, or was this a false alarm? See, 99% of the time, it's a false alarm. And you know that 99% of the time, it's a false alarm, so you don't overreact when the smoke detector goes off, correct? But no one taught us this about our internal smoke detector, and so we do the opposite. 99% of the time, we run. When in reality, its only job was to warn us that there could be a threat, not that there is a threat. And this is where emotional intelligence comes in. Emotional intelligence is just your ability when you have the emotions and the adrenaline rush, whether positive or negative, to stop, check your surroundings, collect data, and ask yourself, is this really a threat? Or is this just something new that I haven't discovered or conquered yet that actually could be useful in my life? And what you've got to do is you've got to train yourself to stop, collect data, ask questions. You got to get good at coaching yourself. Thankfully, life coaching taught me how to coach others, but I've used it for the last 6 years to coach myself through things by just simply asking questions to get to the root of the problem and to help me think logically about the situation that I'm in. I did a whole podcast episode. I think it was called I Need to Take a Step Back. And I talked about how people constantly in business, maybe you've done this before, this isn't to shame you or make you feel guilty, have said, I need to take a step back. And if you think about it logically, most of the time people are taking a step back from their business because it's created extra pressure, because it's made them feel overwhelmed, because it's made them busy and they don't have time for their family anymore. But if we were to go back to your life before you were doing this business, most of you would admit you weren't as happy, you weren't as confident, you weren't as fulfilled. So if I take away the thing in the equation that made you more happy, more confident, more fulfilled, who do you turn back into? You turn back into your before picture, don't you? And I don't even mean the weight. That's not even, I mean, this guy goes back to the before picture and all of a sudden you're unhappy, stressed, and overwhelmed just about different problems. And so many times we're not thinking logically. All we know is smoke detector is going off and I'm sick and tired of trying to work through this freaking alarm. I don't know how to turn it off other than just churning and running. And so I'm not thinking logically. And what I do is I make a decision that really made no sense. I'm going to return to my unhappy version of myself to save myself the pain of growth and effort. And in reality, you're not going to be a better mom. You're not going to have more time for your kids. You're probably going to watch more Netflix and sleep in later. And that's about it. I've never heard of someone that actually quit their business and as a result, set up an intentional schedule to spend extra quality time with their kids. I've never heard of one single person doing that. But you didn't know how to process it. And if you didn't know how to process it, it's not really your fault. And that's why I want to educate you tonight on how to find the difference. So the easiest way, I want you to get this, the easiest way to figure out the difference between the voice of your head and the voice of your heart, it's this simple. I personally believe that the voice of your heart always speaks to purpose and potential. Write those two words down. Purpose and potential. And in every life situation, when you've got voices going on in your head, and it is hard. It's really, really, really hard. I grew up in a very religious world where we were kind of taught that our emotions were like God speaking to us. That's not really biblical, nor does it make any scientific sense if, again, you study the way the brain works. Imagine like sometimes you just wake up and you're sleepy and grumpy. Was that like God speaking to you, telling you to be a jerk to everybody today? Or is that like you probably need to drink more water? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we're just taught stupid stuff that doesn't really make sense because we were looking for something supernatural in a world where supernatural exists, but it doesn't always explain everything that our mind and body have going on inside it. And so what you got to do is you got to take time to stop and ask yourself, what is the voice of purpose saying to me in this moment? And what is the voice of potential? So we already talked about the voice of purpose. You guys kind of shared it over to the right, to teach, to learn and grow, to help people, to love people. Now I want you to talk to me about your potential. I want you to think about this for a second. What do you believe? Now this isn't just you, okay? What do you believe your God-given potential is? What do you believe, not just why you exist, but what do you believe God gifted you to be capable of? It doesn't have to be something specific like, oh, I'm supposed to be like a best-selling author. It doesn't have to be anything specific like that. I just want you to think about that for a second. What is my God-given potential? What am I capable of based on what my creator has given me to do on this planet? Can you put that into some sentences for me? I know this one's a little bit trickier. Bring joy and hope and happiness to women so they can fully enjoy their lives. That was a good statement, Micah. I got a little goosebumps right there. Inspire others to get out of their comfort zones. Keep them coming. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I want to hear another one. Live a life of passion and purpose. Keep them coming. I need to see more. I need to see more. I'm capable of being a creator of joy, happiness, and helping others come into power. God created me to help other women realize their worth, to bring massive positive energy to everything I do, to show others what is possible when you believe in yourself. My potential is unlimited. That's one of my favorite words in the dictionary. My potential is unlimited. God doesn't put the boundaries on myself. I do. I would agree with that statement, homie. To show women how powerful and capable they are and how much they matter, to help others realize their strength and purpose, to love others where they are at, and to inspire growth as an individual. Help mamas know that they matter and to invest in themselves to help other women find purpose in their pain and overcome their anxieties. Now, guys, do you feel the power on this call? Can you literally feel the energy right now? Now, how many of you would say, Josh, what I'm currently feeling is much different than what I feel when I'm afraid, when I'm embarrassed, when I'm ashamed, when I'm worried that maybe I don't have what it takes, when I'm worried about how someone, can you now feel the difference in those feelings? It's not that I don't believe that our heart has any feelings, because I do believe it has feelings. I just believe that most of the time, the feelings that we are having are coming a lot more from our smoke detector and a lot less from our heart. Because again, our heart is literally crying out for you to reach your potential and help other humans. And as someone said above, it is literally unlimited. There is literally zero limits on what your heart is capable of doing. The only limit, Napoleon Hill says this in Think and Grow Rich, the only limits that exist are the ones we create in our own head. That's it. And I need you to understand that if you could tap into your heart more often than you tap into your head, you would find unlimited power, unlimited energy, unlimited motivation, and you would not have one single thing that could stop you from what you were born to do. Problem is, we spend way too much time in our head. And our head, again, has been programmed by the environments that we've been surrounded by. So one of the things that we need to do, first of all, is just learn how to find the voice of our heart. Okay? We got to practice taking time every single day to ask, why am I here? And what am I capable of? And if it helps you, because this definitely helps me, it always helps me to insert my creator, because I always believe a lot more unlimited about why he put me here and what he has given me to do than to try to think that I somehow am that special. Does that make sense? I question my creator a lot less than I question myself. And so for me, I'm always trying to connect myself to my creator, to my kids. I'm always trying to connect myself to things that I know I see as valuable. Because sometimes, I'm going to be real, guys, sometimes I don't think that I'm valuable. If you are human, you know your past mistakes, you know your struggles, and you know your failures. And that's why I'm intentional every day about connecting to something that is more powerful than me, so that I can realize that's my source of power, not my past, not my experiences, not what I have to offer, but what I've been given. Does that make sense? And so first we have to find the voice of our heart. But second, this is where the work gets really, really fun and can absolutely change your life forever. We have to practice retraining the voice of our head to align with the voice of our heart. If you can spend enough time reprogramming this guy, you can get to the point where your heart and your head are actually saying the same thing. And it's like you are invincible, because there's nothing blocking the signal. It's like your heart is a freaking radio frequency, and when you're tuned into it, you're unstoppable. Problem is, most of you are tuned into your head and you haven't listened to your heart in a really long time. And that's why when I do retreats, like some of them that I've done for Micah, and I start asking people about their potential, I start asking people about their purpose, people cry like that. Why do people cry so quick when I ask those? To be honest, the very first one that I went to, I just had some intentional questions that I was asking. I didn't realize it's going to be an emotional experience at all. People just start bawling. I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, this is even more powerful than I realized. Okay, cool. And then from then on, it just kind of became the thing. I showed up at retreats and basically just know I'm going to ask these, honestly, really simple questions that I made up on an airplane ride one time, and everyone's going to bawl their eyes out. And it's going to be this powerful transformation. Why does that happen? Because we haven't spent enough time listening to our heart, and we forgot how powerful we really were. So when someone began to ask us those questions and we heard what was living on the inside, it brought us to tears to realize how long we had that buried beneath, and how far away our reality was from the thing we believe is already living on the inside of us. We have created a reality so contrary to what we already see and hear, but we've covered it up with layers upon layers upon layers of excuses, of stories, of ways we justify staying where we're at, staying put, staying stuck. And when you start listening to the voice of your heart, you realize, holy crap, there's some really powerful stuff in there that I just kind of forgot about. But you get that out. And then we do these things that most of you know about called affirmations. But some of you just do them all wrong. Some of you use affirmations to just say fun, happy things. And affirmations aren't necessarily supposed to make you a more positive person, even though I think positivity is good. Affirmations are supposed to reprogram your brain to align with your heart, not to align with your emotions, guys. When you do happy affirmations, all you're trying to do is realign your emotions. You're not actually aligning to your heart. And all of the positive emotions in the world will not change your life. I've had several occasions in my life where I was just so freaking happy because I drank too much caffeine, but it wasn't necessarily changing my life. I just like felt better. And I think some of the times in life, our biggest problem is that we're looking for a way to feel better, not for a way to be better. And being better is a matter of tapping into who I really am. And that's why happiness isn't even really a word that I like to use. Because you know what I like better than happiness? Fulfillment. I had this talk with a friend a couple nights ago. I was really, really, really struggling in life. And I said, homie, can I tell you something? You need to stop trying so dang hard to be happy. And you need to try much harder to be proud. The things in life that make you truly happy, meaning on the inside, are usually the little things that you did that made you proud, not necessarily the exciting things that made you feel good. If you go around chasing feeling good and happiness and positivity, you're going to find yourself actually very unhappy because you never fulfilled your purpose or your potential. Guys, my whole first year of business, as many of you know, I made 2 total sales and only $500, but my goodness, I was on a high because I was living out my purpose. I had never been happier in my entire life, even though I was just as broke as I had been the year before. And that's what caused me, because of my belief in my purpose, that's why I continue to pursue my potential, because I believe that my purpose is a measure of my heart, what I'm willing to give the world, but my potential is a measurement of how much of it I gave. Do you guys get that? My purpose is a measurement of my heart and what I want to give. It's the expression of my heart, but my potential is the measurement of how much of that I gave. And it's not enough just to have a purpose. It's not enough to just want to help people. John Maxwell wrote a book called Intentional Living. And the whole point of the book was that having good intentions means nothing if you don't put it into action. You can sit around for the rest of your life and have happy, positive thoughts about how you want to help people. But if you don't get up and do something with your hands, it don't matter. It does not matter. And so here's what you got to do. You got to take the things that you want to do. Okay? Let's take invites. Can we just throw invites out there? Something, you got a roadblock standing in your way, and you, for whatever reason, you can't get out of your own way to do these invites. Okay? Here's what I need you to do. I need you to take your purpose and your potential statements and use those as because affirmations of why you're going to do this action. In other words, let me scroll all the way up here to the top, okay? Because I want to be the light in the lives of everyone that crosses my path and bring laughter back to their dark days, I am inviting everyone I can to join my next challenge group where I get the chance to be that light. Because I have unique talents and gifts that allow me to share his message and my gifts with the world, I'm inviting every human on the planet to the place where I deliver that message. Do you see how much more powerful that is than I invite like a rock star? Today, I will invite people. I'm happy to invite people. I'm not happy. I have never once been happy to invite anyone. I think a week or two ago, I messaged Mike. I said, hey, homie, can you send me like an updated elite report with the top 50? I just need to be intentional about getting in connection with some of the up and coming coaches over the last couple of years. Like, I don't really know who's who anymore. So many new people coming. Can you just send me that? She sent it to me, and I messaged every single one of them, said, yo, I don't know if you know who I am. I'm Josh, work with some Beachbody coaches. Would love to do a free call for you. No pitches included. Just want to share about my free book at the end, if that's cool. Sent that to, 35 people, and it felt gross every single time. I hated it. I hate it so bad because I'm a people pleaser. And my worst fear in the world is that someone will think that I am trying to use them. My worst fear in the world is for anyone to question my motives. I hate it so bad. I started this business because I wanted to make people feel as good as I felt when I got a hold of personal growth. I just wanted to help people get that. And I'm still fueled by that so much. And when people think I only care about the money, or, oh, he just wants to do a call because he wants to pitch something, I hate it. And I had one girl who's like, hey, I'm just going to be real. Like, we've had some people on the team calls and they did pitches and we didn't really like it. I was like, hey, homie, I want you to know I've never done a pitch without permission. I would never, ever, ever show up on your call and try to sell people stuff unless you asked me to do it. But the truth is, I've had a ton of people that literally asked me to pitch my groups because they wanted their team to get into my group. So if you don't want me to do that, I'm okay with that. I'm going to show up and I'm going to deliver so much energy that every single human on your call and that watches this YouTube video, they'll come find me. I'm not worried about that. But when someone questions my motives, I just want to shrivel up and die. But my purpose said, people need your message, Josh. And if you have to feel like shriveling up and dying to get 35 calls, which is never 35 calls, lands, 5 or 6 calls, but every single call you're going to be on, homie, someone's life is going to be changed. On every single team call and every Super Saturday, I show up to speak with this on my head. Someone that I'm about to talk to, there's at least one person that is this close to giving up on their dreams. I have a duty to change that tonight. I live with that in my heart every single day. And if I'm more focused on the person that is about to quit than I am on what it makes me feel like to send an invite, changes the game. Or how about my potential? One of my favorite quotes from J Max, God's greatest gift to me is my potential. My greatest gift to him is developing it. I believe to do anything less than my full potential is a slap to the face of God. That's just my personal belief. You don't have to agree with that. It's okay if you don't, but that's my belief. For me to question the gift or to neglect the gift is to question the giver of the gift and to neglect the giver of the gift. So I got to ask myself every day, homie, it's going to suck, but what are you going to do to grow today? What are you going to do to challenge yourself today? When Sagi says to pick up heavier weight, are you going to pick up heavier weight? When Grant Cardone says to shut up and go do what you're supposed to do, are you going to listen? Are you going to listen to the voice of your heart today, or are you going to listen to the voice of your head today? Now, I will say, it's not as easy as just saying, oh, I'm going to do this. It's not that easy, but it is easier to understand that the voice of your head is literally just a chemical reaction to perceived threat. That's it. And I had to really train myself after going through this training myself. I had to be like, it's just a chemical reaction, Josh. It's just a chemical reaction. It's not real. This isn't even real. Not that I'm trying to disassociate from my feelings. I hope Jenny didn't hear that. She'd be like, Josh, that's not healthy. Don't teach people that. I'm not trying to disassociate from my feelings, but I am trying to give them less power. Because I need to understand that my true self and my true worth comes from my heart. And God gave me this head and this body as a gift. He did not give them to dictate my life or to tell my life what to do. He gave them to me as a gift. But I, as the receiver of the gift, I have to learn about this gift and I have to use it for the things that will serve my potential and my purpose, not hurt my potential and my purpose. Does that make sense? And in order to do that, again, 2 simple steps, guys, and I'll shut up. 1, you have to take time to listen to that voice. In my affirmations, every single day, I say my goal out loud, and then I follow it up immediately with my mission statement. I am worthy of this goal. I'm capable of this goal. And with God's hand on my life, directing my paths and putting my steps in order, I'm creating this goal Because I push entrepreneurs to reach their full potential. I'm going to reach my potential because I'm putting to use my purpose. And as long as I'm using my purpose to reach my potential, it can't be gross. It can't be salesy. That's not salesy. I was trying to help somebody change their life today. If that is salesy, then okay, I'm all about it. I'm salesy. Cool. If that's what salesy means, is being willing to talk to people to see if they want to change their life, okay, I'm salesy. Let's just go and call it that then. But if I really, really, really understand how much I care about people and how much I want to help people, I cannot sit silently and watch other people hurt. I have to stand up and I have to make noise. Sometimes I have to do boomerangs. sometimes I have to get vulnerable in posts. Sometimes I got to do things that I don't really want to do because this business, guys, it was never about me to start with. For me, it was always about chasing my purpose to help other people and reaching my potential, which was my gift back to my creator. When you're in your head, you're always thinking about how it affects you. You're almost never thinking about how it affects others. So my challenge to you, take the things you said here, write them down. Take 5 or 10 minutes every single morning when you wake up to journal those things until you have them memorized and reprogram your brain to think the way your heart thinks. When you look at people and you're like, I don't know how they do that. They are freaking naturals. I just don't even understand that. That's because they took the time to reprogram their brain. They programmed their brain to perform for them instead of against them. In 6 months, you could be a completely different human. Your brain can actually be in alignment with your heart. And oh my gosh, you will be unstoppable. So, Micah, that's concise Josh. I did it. I did it. I did it.
That was so good. Do you want to take a minute, and if anyone has any questions, we can go.
Let's do it.
If you guys have any specific questions, put them in the chat. We do have like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So if you got a question or even just like a limiting belief that you're going through that you need like help kind of like working through to find like the voice of your heart, that's cool too.
Hey, Britt asked about your book.
Oh yeah. So I was going to advertise my book. I forgot about that. So this is my book. It's called F Leadership. You can go to joshcoates.com and you can get a free copy if you just pay for shipping, as long as you're in the US. If you're outside of the US, you can go on Amazon and purchase it for cheaper than I can ship it to you, and they'll have it to you in like 2 days. But if you're in the US, go to joshcoates.com. You can get a free copy if you just pay shipping, okay? This book is basically talking about how people talk themselves out of leadership. They talk themselves out of being worthy or capable of being a leader, which holds them back from doing the things that would have turned them into a leader. And I think a lot of times when we say, I'm not good enough of a leader, what you're really saying is, I'm not good enough of a celebrity. I think that the words leader and celebrity have got very, very confused, unfortunately, because of social media. We see leaders and we think that leaders have to have bought their dream house and their dream car and have 1 million followers. And that's not what a leader is. That is the results of leadership. But there was a time when Micah didn't have a new car and didn't have a new house and had to show up and give the message that she did have in order to get any of you guys to ever show up. And yeah, it helps on social media when you have a nice house and a nice car. That helps. But if you wait till you have that to get started, you'll never get there. You have to start where you are. Okay, that's what the book is about. You don't need to buy it anymore. Never mind. I just gave it to you. I'm just kidding. And hear that mission statement you said about yourself again, the one that I push entrepreneurs to reach my full potential. that one, or the one in my app. So I have a scripture that I use when I'm going through my goals. I say that I'm worthy of my goal, I'm capable of my goal, and then I throw a scripture in that says, and because God's hand is on my life, directing my paths and putting my steps in order, I'm creating my goal. For me, I get a little bit weird when I say I'm creating something. Sometimes, again, I got to lean on my creator because it feels weird to say, oh, I'm creating all of this. So I'm like trying to remind myself, hey, yo, it's okay. You can create this because God's got his hand on you directing stuff. That's why you're able to create this stuff. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Janae. Callie says, I'm ready to be a potential purpose maker. Ooh, I like that. That should be somebody's team name. Potential purpose maker.
I love it. Hey, what would you say to someone when, besides I fully like back you on the morning routine part, like the reprogramming, creating those habits, those are like life changers.
Yeah.
So do that. But what would you say to someone who, when they show up to do their work or when they show up to whatever, they automatically go to their brain and they automatically go to their head and they forget all of their heart stuff? Like, how do you get through those moments? Just kind of recentering, and like, what would you say to someone who kind of struggles with that?
I mean, I think it's a matter of because yeah, the morning routine is going to take time before it actually becomes your new reality. So it's like, what do you do when it's not your reality yet? Absolutely, yes. You come up with specific things that you know your heart is tied to. So one of the quotes I've shared a million times is that our limiting beliefs are constantly looking for a story to justify our fears and excuses. Okay. So you are naturally trying to collect evidence for why you can't do something. And what you've got to do is you've got to help yourself by finding some things that are deep rooted to you, whether it be your faith or your family, and connecting evidence to that that says, even if I don't think I'm worthy of it, I do think my kids are worthy of it, and this business was for them. For me, I use my kids for my motivation so much. For me, it was like, honestly, I want so bad to create a business that makes money so that I don't have to be poor for the rest of my life. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm willing to do that for myself, but I do not want to pass those demons off to my kids. I personally have realized that the demons we don't face are the demons we pass on to our kids. And so for me, I was kind of okay with being poor the rest of my life, but I wasn't okay with my kids growing up poor and then being 29, having to call me the way I had to call my mom and say, hey, behind on rent again, could I borrow a couple $100 so that me and my 3 kids don't get evicted? And that was real life for me. About twice a year, I'd have to call my mom and ask for $200 or we were going to get evicted. I was like, I'm not making my kids live this kind of a life and then pass that off to their kids. At some point, somebody has to stop the cycle. And even if I don't care enough about me, even if I'm not sure if I'm even capable of doing it, if nothing else, I'm going to look my kids in the eyeballs one day and say, I gave my everything to at least try to change your future. And if I failed, that sucks. But I'd rather say I failed because I tried and just didn't have what it takes than say, you know what, I just didn't care enough of you to even try. So for me, it's constantly digging into these places of conviction of like, who is it that's impacted by this outside of me? Because unfortunately, sometimes we don't value ourselves enough to do it for ourselves. Anybody else? Okay. And that's just real and that's okay. So find someone else to do it for until you do gain the self-esteem to do it for yourself. Okay. Micah, you want me to just answer other stuff that's here until we get a shutdown? Okay. Brittany says, what's your best advice for not allowing unsupportive family members who have nasty things to say get to you, especially when better lives for them is one of your biggest reasons for even starting? Brittany, this is not going to be your favorite thing that you've ever heard in your life. Okay. A little bit of mean Josh is going to come out right now. I'm going to ask you to be a grown adult. And I'm going to ask you to decide to do what's best for your family, even when they don't know it's what's best for them. That's not easy to hear. But if you believe with your heart that this is the best move for your family, unless you have a significant other that's like, well, you have to quit or I'm going to leave you. I mean, that's another conversation that you need to have with Micah. I don't want to address that conversation tonight, okay? But you need to be a big girl and you need to say, I'm a grown adult and I know what's best for me and for my family. And if other people haven't caught that vision yet, it just means I need to work that much harder to prove to them that this is something that can change our lives. This is a workshop that I did in February called Conviction Board, where instead of just having a vision board, you come up with something that you're convicted by. Like, okay, we're in debt. I'm going to use my business to pay off our debt. Or we never go on vacations, so I'm going to use my business to earn us a vacation. Or, man, that car payment is really stressing us out and causing us to fight all of the time. I'm going to use my business to make that car payment. And you decide to use your business to do something that directly impacts the life of your family so that they can see, oh my God, this business is actually making our life better. I also think it makes you more motivated and driven to go get something that improves your family's life right away instead of just trying to go diamond or just trying to go elite. I still want you to go diamond and I still want you to go elite, but I want you to be motivated and fueled by how it's going to directly impact your family. Okay? I hope that helps. And I know it's hard, and I'm not trying to say that it's easy. And I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. But at some point, we all have to make a decision about what we believe is best for our family, and we got to go for it. And again, if it creates extra conflict, talk to Mike about that, not me, okay? What does your one-on-one mentorship look like, Samantha? You can just message me about that on the website, okay? I don't want to take up everybody's Q&A time talking about that, but you're more than welcome to message me through my website or just shoot me a PM on Facebook. Recommendations on resources for setting goals. I have a really hard time trying to set long-term goals for myself and dreaming big. I want to set big goals, but having trouble getting there. So I love the self-journal. However, the self-journal, it doesn't necessarily make you think bigger. You need to just start studying successful people that have big goals and have big dreams. If I'm you, man, I'm grabbing like an autobiography of like Martin Luther King Jr. One of my favorite books is called Shoe Dog by the founder of Nike. Such an awesome book. Love it so much. You just need to find successful people that you look up to, and you need to study them, and you need to listen to them, and you need to catch their vision. I'll never forget when one of my mentors on the John Maxwell team mentioned that he lived, this is when I'd first gotten my business up to like 6 figures, and I thought that was like really cool. And then he was like mentioning that he lived down the street from Celine Dion. And I was like, what? You mean like just like talking to people, reading lots of books and talking to people, you make as much money as Celine Dion? And immediately I was just like, okay, well, I guess that's a thing. Let's try to figure out how that works. So you just got to surround yourself with people who dream big. Anything you're struggling with, guys, one of the number one things you can do is surround yourself with people who have conquered the demon you're facing. Okay? The reason you're facing the demon is because the environment you've grown up in introduced you to it. One of the most powerful things you can do in your life is to change your surroundings. One of my new favorite quotes, and then I'll shut up because I know Mike has got to get on another call. One of my new favorite quotes is that you will either rise or fall to the standard of your peer group. You will either rise or fall to the standard of your peer group. Okay? Now, I know a lot of your spouses aren't doing personal growth and building businesses, okay? And that's okay. That's okay. Don't use that as an excuse, though. Make sure you spend extra time with people like Micah. If Micah has a retreat, your butt better do whatever you have to do to earn that retreat and get a little extra time with her. If Micah has a team call, you better be on every single one. If she puts together some type of a push group with other top leaders, you better sign up for it. You better do anything and everything you can to spend more time with the humans that elevate your belief in your dreams. All right? And no, Micah doesn't pay me to say stuff like that. I like really, really, really mean stuff like that. Okay? All right, Micah.
You're the best. Thank you so much for taking time and hanging out with us. It's like always just so refreshing. I already got messages from the old OGs that are like, I miss Josh. I needed some Josh in my life. I'm like, I know, it's been a while. So always appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
More than welcome. Thanks for having me, guys. Love you guys.
Hey, bye, you guys. See you next month.
I'm done.
Yeah, I got to get it on a couple more.
How much?